All right, so in this problem, the first one, you're given a number line that looks kind of like this. You only have one of these little guys circled, and it asks you which division sentence represents the model. And I'm going to just go ahead and write down the four division sentences that it gives you as options, and we'll work through what each of those are, whether they're correct or whether they are incorrect. So, what I did first, even before starting this video, sorry it's a little bit hard to see, is I split each piece between 0 and 1 into 4 pieces, between 1 and 2 into 4 pieces, and between 2 and 3 into 4 pieces. That's what you'll see each of these individual small lines are, just to prove that this in fact was worth 3/4 of a piece. And then when I did that, then I saw that each line on the diagram actually was at 3/4. Every 3/4 there was another line. Okay, and so what this looks like to me is that I've taken a whole of 3 and I'm dividing it into smaller pieces. Those smaller pieces are about 3/4, okay? And when I end up with 4 total pieces, okay? So when I have this one, 4 divided by 1/4 equals 3, that would be something more like this, that I would have from 0 to 4, like this, and I would actually need to then divide each piece into fourths, and each piece would be like that. So as you'll see even here, this would end up being just between 0 and 1, there's already going to end up being more than 3 pieces. So there would actually end up being 12. So this is actually not even a correct equation at all. It definitely is not being represented here. Okay, so that's definitely probably the easiest one to cancel out because we don't have 4 pieces that we are dividing into quarters. Okay, the next one I want to go over is 3 minus 1/4. If we had 3 minus 1/4, the way that I would kind of think to show that would be to have 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we'd need to split our pieces into fourths. And then I would have 3 minus 1/4 is going to end up being 2 and 3/4 there. Okay, so again, not even a proper equation. This doesn't even make sense. So we can go ahead and cross it out. The equation itself doesn't actually make sense. Therefore, it cannot be a proper division sentence for any picture. Okay, then we're left with these two, and these two are very, very similar because I think that they both can go with our picture somewhat. Okay, but there is one that is a bit better than the other. So if we look at this one, if we had 3 0, 1, 2, 3, and I'm dividing it into 4, that's going to be really hard to do with the number that I have here. I know I'm going to need to divide it into 4 pieces, okay? But when I do divide it into 4 pieces, I am going to get 3/4 sized pieces, okay? Or when I take 3 and I divide it into 3/4 sized pieces, I'm going to end up with 4 pieces total. I do think that this is the better equation to solve this one. However, I can understand how there would end up being 4 pieces here. So if you were to say I need to split 3 into 4 pieces, I'm going to end up with 3/4 length pieces. I think that both of those could be a proper answer to this. So if you put either of those on this question, I've given you credit for that. Okay, but neither of these even made sense just mathematically at all. So please make sure if you chose one of those, that when you're looking at something like this, even if you're not quite sure, make sure that the math works out first, because those two were easy to cancel out just because of the math not working.